Yeah, I guess let's just bring up my fight real quick. What was your kind of your thoughts throughout that fight? Because I'm the first to admit that fight wasn't going really, really well for me. It wasn't. And when I look at, like, as I say, the amateurs now, a lot of those fights get called really quickly. They really do. But you allowed it to continue on. And even though I don't, like, it wasn't like a 50-50 thing, right? Like, he came out strong and he kept going. Like, so during that fight, what was your kind of thought process? Was it crossing your mind that you were going to call that fight? Like,
it was actually your intro that made me allow that fight to continue a little bit longer than what it should have. No, I'm just kidding. For those of you that don't know, that was a Wimp to Warrior fight, and it was probably the best series I've refereed, and a lot of that comes to do with the introduction. So before you guys fought, and I remember your introduction was the only one I remember, and your face went on screen, and basically you've got all these normal people training for 6 months, and they come in and they have a cage fight, and everyone's got a story, and your face went on camera, and I remember you saying you're always telling people to pursue their goals and dreams. But sometimes you got caught up a little bit and you never pursued yours. And then you came out, and I'll never forget that. And you came out, obviously, you walked in, you started your fight, and you were getting bashed. You were getting bashed. Not you were still in the fight, you know, you were turning your back a lot, and normal behavior when you haven't been training for too long, and you keep getting hit with strikes. And then you got hit in the groin, I believe twice.
Yep.
Gave you a bit of time, a little bit of a breather. Your opponent got warned twice. It was accidental, which is why he didn't get a point deduction, I believe. Did he get a point deduction?
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
But it didn't matter anyway.
he didn't get a point deduction. But regardless, if it happened a third time, there would have been a point deduction, regardless of it being accidental. And then you came out and you pulled an anaconda choke out of nowhere, you know, and it was one of the biggest upsets that I've refereed. And you can see it in the photo when you're getting your hand raised. I don't think I've ever pulled a smile. I've pulled a smile off as a referee. I'm very, very, what's the word? I can't think of the word.
You take your business seriously.
I do take my business seriously. You know, I don't favour any fighter when I referee. It's an even playing ground when I'm in there. But I couldn't help myself when you got your hand raised. You know, I had a big smile on my face, and it was a cool fight. But you're even though you're getting beaten up, you're always in it. And I was communicating, I was saying fight back, and you were. So let that fight continue, and you got your hand raised in the end.
I mean, for me, to looking back on it, and beforehand, I'll just say, like, it was more a shock thing for me, right? Yep. Because, you know, being that it was our first fight, I just honestly thought, you know, we'd touch gloves and we'd do the whole little dance thing, right? And obviously he had different intentions, and he just caught me off guard because it was the last thing I expected, because, like, we had both spoken about it. Yep, we're going to touch gloves. So I just thought, okay, we're going to do this little dance thing, right? And so when he hit me with that first shot, my head started to ring, and before I could realize where I was, obviously he had landed a couple more. But yeah, it was more a shock thing, just because that's not when they say you envision your fight, you know, and like leading up to that fight, like I ran it over my head a million times, and like, if it goes to the ground, this is how it's going to happen. If it goes here, da, da, da. But out of the million times that I envisioned it, never had I thought he's just going to come out and punch me straight in the face. Like, I just didn't think that, and I think it just really caught me off guard.